Welcome back to the channel, people. KG is back. I know it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without any videos to step to, but you know what it is? I'm back and I've enjoyed the time away. It's been nice to switch off from this football club in football in general. But yeah, I'm back. Preview today, match review at some point tomorrow. We'll see. Uh how do I do this again? Oh yeah, like the video, subscribe, drop your comments below, and let's get into it. To anyone that's joining me live now, I appreciate you, man. Yes, Liam Moore, a shout out to you. I'll be doing the super thanks shout out from the last video. Nick Garner saying this will be the last time we Leeds fans have to endure many of these useless players. Bring on relegation, let the cleansing begin. Well, Nick, it's a very, very slim chance, and that's why I've put in the description, can a miracle happen? But even if we were to stay up, I would still hope to see the last of many of these players. A lot of them. A lot of them. It's been nice to not even have to think about them this week. I'll be honest with you. Bubba Cage is back. Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here. Lewis saying, as Mario said, my heart can't take it anymore. He did. He said it. And I'm with you. I'm completely with you because we got to do something tomorrow that we haven't done so often in the last 2 years. And I know it's an old stat now, but the fact that we've only won 11 games since Bielsa was fired is it's a disgrace, people. Now, I can't believe we've done so many of these match previews, so many of these match reactions, and we've celebrated 11 times in like in nearly 2 seasons. It's a disgrace. It's a nothing short of a disgrace. But you know what? We're here, and this is what we've got. This is what we've been served up. Hannah saying, I feel so numb about tomorrow. The fact that how much we've brought on ourselves too. Facts. So many missed chances. I dislike them so much. Going to be rough at the game tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see what the atmosphere is like tomorrow for sure. But I'm with you 100%. Like I've said so many times before, and before it was fashionable to say it. There's not many of these players I rate. I don't rate a lot of them, but it's too little, too late now. You know, people have shouted out their favorite players instead of looking out for the club. And you know, I've seen it. I've been off social media quite a bit this week. Pretty, for me anyway, it's been quite a lot. And I still see some of the players being celebrated for awards, and shout out to them for winning the awards. But then it's the fans underneath, and this is why I say it's on the fans too. You know, Luke Ayling wins an award. Luke Ayling, that's why he's got to stay. This is a you do yourselves no favors. But I'm sick and tired of saying it. You know what I mean? I'm sick and tired of saying it. White Peacock is saying, who would you keep from the current squad of KG? We're going to do that next week. 100%, Andy. We're going to do all of that next week, 100%, whichever division we're in. There's one or two players where I do juggle in my head if I would want them to stay or not, because I think at Premier League level, they're definitely not Premier League players, but I think at Championship level, they'll cook. But then my worry is then if they help us go back up, that fans will just want them to stay again, and then we're back into this cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. So I think I might have to look more long-term, but I'll have a think about it over the week. Exactly, Lewis. You exactly. Fans saying they got promoted, they can do it again. I mean, that will happen again as well. By the way, it will happen again. But you got to take the Leeds United fan base for what it is. It's a passionate fan base, but sometimes loyal to a fault. Sometimes too loyal. And you know me. I'm a bit more cutthroat than that. I want the best players at Leeds United. And looking at the list that I've got, I've torn that up now. We're gonna have to look at some new players, but I've seen some of the names again. This week I've seen some of the articles, opinion pieces of players being linked to Leeds United. It's going to suit a lot of people because it's going to be players that we've been linked with before. It's players that everyone knows. So it's going to be comfortable for Leeds United fans with some of the players we've been linked with if we were to go down to the Championship. So it's going to play into some people's wheelhouses, and that's cool. But I just wish that this team would be as great as it once was. Once upon a time. You know what I mean? But hey. And Joe Woodward here saying, will we get Drame back? Drame is celebrating life right now. Luton Town promoted. Now we've got to wonder if we're going to get to go to Kenilworth Road next season. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy how football works, but we are hoping to be in the same league as Luton Town. Crazy, isn't it? But we're definitely not guaranteed because, in the words of Expressions and Robbie, it is not in our hands. It is definitely not in our hands tomorrow. So, we're hoping to see Luton Town next season, but hey, I wouldn't put your house on it, people. Bob's, I'm seeing foreshore page. You played deal shots. Yeah. The only thing I would always say with those kind of people is they support obviously the loyal to players. But what I would say is I wouldn't want to see them moan about relegation. I wouldn't want to see them moan about losing games in the Premier League level when they're asking for stuff like that. That's all I would say, because you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't. You can't have a team full of nice guys and average meaty players, but then want it to go to Europe too. It doesn't compute. It doesn't make logical sense. So I would just hope that those same people are just fans no matter what and don't care whatever league we're in. But at the same time as well, I see people talk about they'll support the team in whatever division, and we've done that. We've done that in League One, but the ramifications are different now. The money's different now. Sometimes your club can't survive. And if anyone should know that, it's Leeds United fans. We've almost seen this club go out of business. You know what I mean? So it's not just about supporting or caring about which league you're in. You've got to care, because otherwise the team, the club might not exist. But you would think of all fan bases to know it would be Leeds United. But I guess it must be a long time ago. Um, Gerbil boy, tremendous, and he has a gerbil in his Avi. I respect that gerbil boy. I've been resigned to us getting relegated since Hammer's game, but if we did get a miracle tomorrow, I don't know if my heart could stand it. Yeah, you know what? You know what it is. You know what it is with that as well, Gerbil boy, and everyone else. I don't want to celebrate tomorrow. I really don't. But I can already feel that if we somehow beat Spurs tomorrow, which would mean winning a game. I know that's a crazy concept, but if we somehow do it and other results go our way, I feel disgusted with myself. I think I'm going to celebrate, and I don't want to, because they don't deserve this. Doesn't deserve celebration. We did it last season. That should have been celebration enough. This season should have been. We should be bored at this stage of the season. We should be like, oh God, it's been boring. 13th in the Prem. God, I hope we can push for something better. But no, we're in this position again, and I've just got that feeling tomorrow that if we were to survive, it's a long shot though. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. It's a long shot. I feel like I'm gonna celebrate a little. I'm gonna have endorphins running through me, and I shouldn't do. It should be more relief, but yeah, that's where I am right now. Lewis is saying if we stay up, I wouldn't feel like we deserve it. I wouldn't say that, Lewis, because at the end of the day, 38 games tells you a story. It does. And yeah, if we were to stay up, it would be by the skin of our teeth yet again. But that would mean that three teams below us would have been worse overall, no matter what sequence of events, results, or whatever it may be, they would have been worse. So they deserve to go down. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I always look at it when it comes to league positions. You deserve to finish where you finish. That's why when things have happened before, and and I take and this is not to throw shade at them, but when Sheffield United got relegated back in what is it, '07, because of the Carlos Tevez thing, I'm thinking you've sued West Ham, got 50 million for that. But what about the other games in the season? Why didn't you get enough points overall? So for me, again, accountability. I'm big on accountability, but yeah. Rad Music Chat is saying, if we don't have love for someplace, KG, then what do we love? A badge with no phases and with no faces and personality attached to it. Rad Music Chat, I'm cool with it. But the problem is for me, Rad Music Chat, is if you're asking for players like Ailing and Forshaw to continue at this football club, but then still get upset that we keep losing games, then you don't make sense to me. You don't. Now, if you're celebrating the guy like this guy, Rafinha, and you want more players like that in your team, more players like Tyler Adams in your team, I get it. I can completely get that. But the problem for me is some people have fallen in love with their off the field personalities, because what they're performing on the pitch is not Premier League level. That's what I'm talking about, Rad Music Chat. And in this current squad, it's been proven over the last couple of years, a lot of them are not Premier League level. They're just not. So that's all I say. Listen, you can be player FC all you want, but at least make it be a good player. You know what I mean? That's all I would say. That's all I would say. But like I say, everyone watches and loves football differently. I completely understand it. Oh, and that's something I needed to clarify, because I know some people got confused with my match reaction. And I said that I'm going to be doing other content besides Leeds. I'm still going to be doing Leeds United, but for me, I think I'm underselling myself just doing Leeds stuff, because I watch too much football just to talk about Leeds United. So I will be doing other kind of like watch alongs and things like that. That was always in the plan, but I wanted Leeds to be involved in the Premier League ones. I just, we'll see if that happens. But yeah, it just means that we'll be spending more time together on streams, can talk more without there being more of like a time restriction because of it doing previews and reviews kind of thing. So that's all that meant. So I'm still going to be here. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? I'll still be here. Sam saying, I generally think a lot of Leeds fans don't even know what a poor player is. There's just different things. Listen, Leeds United fans in general have always loved hardworking players. That's always been the bare minimum. That has always been it. But for me, and this is kind of a comment that needs to be said at the end of the season, so I don't really want to go into it too much, but I feel like overall in the last few years there's just been a sense of being happy to be here at the Premier League without wanting to do anything more. I think it's just been more of a case of being happy to be a Premier League club again rather than being ambitious with choices and decisions that fans want with players. Because if that was true, we wouldn't be asking for some of these players to have new contracts. We wouldn't. You wouldn't be asking for some of these players to stay on. And I just feel like it's just been we've been happy to be here. Whereas last time we was here, we was a juggernaut in the Prem. I know it for some people that weren't around. I know it sounds like it's a dream, but we were one of the best teams in the league and one of the best teams in Europe. UEFA Cup semi-final, Champions League semi-final. We were one of the best, and it just feels like this time around in the Prem, it's just been a happy to be here kind of vibe. That's just the feeling I've got from comments that I've got anyway. Ash is saying more cagey content, the silver lining to this 2 years of tragedy. Mark is saying, Mark Harter, I would like you doing other games. I trust your opinion, even if we don't always agree, but I agree with you most of the time. And that's what it's all about, Mark. And that's what I mean. I feel like I've just sell myself short talking about just Leeds United when there's other teams and players that I enjoy watching. And I feel like other people could, you know, get some insight on as well. I do. So, if that's bigging myself up, let that be it. But it's true. I back myself when it comes to football opinions. Harrison is saying KG after Ellen Road tomorrow. I have to say I have a good record. Lost twice in about 30-ish games spanning back to 2013. What's your win ratio like? Because we need a win. And you know what? I've gone on for like 12 minutes now. We need to win tomorrow. Never mind what happens anywhere else, even though we do have to, we need to get that part done. And like I said, 11 wins in almost 2 years. It's a disgrace, people. I cannot believe that that is my football team, but that is what we are. We have to beat Tottenham tomorrow. If we could beat them handsomely, just think about how good that would be. But the Leeds Spurs thing, it would be like Leeds beating Spurs tomorrow 5-0, but then Everton beat Bournemouth 1-0 or something like that, and we just go down anyway. I can see that happening. That just feels Leedsy to me. Um, but let me see. BG Swab saying big leads going down while Luton are going up. Yeah, big in name, BG Swab. But in all honesty, when we put it in totality for our Premier League, second go around, not big in ambition, not enough for me anyway. Not with some of the names that I thought we could attract here, and we've done nowhere near it. Nowhere near. But yeah, Luton Town, listen, they've gone up on merit. People, I know I wanted Coventry back just for that old, Premier League heritage vibe, Huckabee, Yusuf Chipo and all these guys, but Luton deserve it. So it's going to be interesting to see that ground in the Prem next season. I can't lie. Um, Gary Vicker, let's have a look. Yeah. Yeah, Spen, yeah, big in name, big in city, big in population, and rough down to the championship. Facts. That's how it feels right now. All right. The trap door is, it's ajar, isn't it? It's definitely open. But you're right. Everything like that is right. And I just wish people would feel that a bit more. I just feel like everyone has just accepted just being part of just making up numbers in the Prem. Um But yeah, drama. I mean, Rattle saying we're going to lose 4-0. I mean, that would just put a bow on it, wouldn't it? Before you know what, this has been all over the place. You can tell I haven't done this in a week. But let me just thank Andy Shaw, Mr. P, David Roberts, John L, John Abbott, Joel Rosa, and Liam Moore for their super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, everyone. And yeah, I mean, we've seen this week as well. Let's just get into it. In terms of what's happened this week, I've seen, like I say, I haven't really delved into much, but I saw that a couple of our legends have come in, McAllister, Strachan, and Gray. I mean, it's like it feels like it's too late for that kind of thing. I think if you're going to get those three to talk about Leeds United and the importance of them, I mean, first of all, those are three great players to talk to the players. But I feel like it should have been done maybe a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's just a little bit too late. I don't know, but nice to see them around. But it all just feels too late to me. Like it's like a desperate roll of the dice again. Sam Allardyce, I mean, just taking some of the stuff he said, he's saying that he's going to air what needs to change at after the last game of the season. That's going to be interesting to hear because we know Sam is a straight shooter, and once the season's done, his contract is done. It's going to be interesting to see what he saw with his own eyes as what has gone badly wrong at this club. We can always talk about it as fans. We can always talk about it as fans and have our speculation and ideas. But he'll be on the inside by that time. And yes, it's a short time, but you can tell over a short span of time, ugh, that I can see what's gone wrong there. I can see where the quality isn't in there. We'll see if Sam talks like that. I feel like he will do that for us. Um, Leeds is saying it will be toxic if we go a goal down. It, maybe. But this is another thing. That's another reason why I thought we've been too happy just to be here, Leeds, because we've seen where even when we was getting heavy beatings this season, not so much this season, but more so under Bielsa, we was applauding these players off. So they always had an out. I always remember seeing the comments after the game. The fans were brilliant and sticking with us. That should never be the comment after some of the beatings we were taking. But there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, let me just maintain. Doesn't mean boo them off, but don't applaud them off when they're getting their cheeks open at 4 or 5, nearly, weekly. Um, oh, Shane is flying over, man. Shane, flying over from tomorrow from Dublin. It's the hope that kills us. Marching on together, I still believe. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because I'll be honest with you guys. You guys know me. I'm a big energy guy, and I believe you talk into existence. But even I'm looking at the championship next year and thinking, what can we possibly do there? But I'm only doing that because of what the players have given us. And even Big Sam was saying today that he was hoping to be have it in our hands at this stage of the season because he thought that we could win enough games. And he's obviously undertook the job and seen just how big of a challenge it is to get these guys playing good football or just to win a game. He's seen how hard it is. And I'm with you, Shane. It is the hope that kills you because come tomorrow, I will still have hope that no matter what, no matter how I'm feeling now, when it comes up to game time, there will still be that sliver of hope, and it is. But I won't be completely crushed because I've kind of already in that acceptance stage. But yeah, I'm definitely where you are. I'm hoping for the best. That's the best I can do. Um, Scott is saying Sam doesn't even put out our best players. He's useless, just like Gracia and Marsh. Yeah, I mean, listen, every coach this season has had selection issues. I mean, God, even if you go back to Bielsa, there was selection issues there, wasn't there? I just don't know what it is that we don't see that obviously the coaches do, and that's obviously something internal. But you're right, we're not getting our best players out there. I mean, I saw a little loose report about Jorginho Rutter not being played because of a fee to be owed to Hoffenheim if he reaches amount of games, and I can kind of understand that, and it would explain a lot why he wouldn't come on because I don't believe that he's just not ready. I just can't. I just didn't believe that anyway. It doesn't make sense to me, but withholding a payment if he triggers a certain amount of appearances definitely makes sense to me because you got to think as well where this club probably thought we was going to finish come January when they signed Rutter. They probably thought we was going to be around mid-table, and if you remember, there's like 3 million per position in the Prem, 3 million per position. So if you can, pay off a little chunk of this money with a guaranteed Premier League position of say 12th, 13th, then you probably don't mind. But where we are, 19th in the table, my team's 19th, man. Lord have mercy. But yeah, 19th in the table, probably not so easy, is it? Yeah, and plus you have to look out for future fees for next season and everything else that comes with relegation. We already seen some reports about teams that have got relegated before, how much staff get laid off and everything else like that. That is a reality. That is a actual fact. So I've seen it. And it is ugly. It's all behind the scenes. Yes, the players move on. Yes, the players get a wage cut if they stay, but it's nowhere near as severe as people that work behind the scenes. Nowhere near. So things like that all affect in relegation. It's not just the players on the pitch. Katrina, we have a team full of bozos. Hey, listen, the bozo things, it's getting range in it. But listen, it's not just bozos. It's just some of just poor players. And when you've got a mix of that and bozos, it equals what we've got right now. Equals what you got. And plus the fact that our best players have been unavailable to play. You got to think Sinistera, Adams, if they were available to play, they're starting every game. They're starting every game without question, which then, makes the first 11 even better. Nanto, the whole thing with Gracia. I mean, that for me was a downward spiral for him. I mean, this is all stuff we got to go into at the end of the season. But there's just so many other factors. I just don't believe anybody else with a Nanto wouldn't have played him in the bottom half. I just don't believe it. And if that was one of those things where it like maybe Rutter is a contractual thing, then that's just poor in itself, isn't it? Rattle here saying stranger things have happened on the final days. It's true. And again, that is where the hope comes from, Rattle. You've just got to hope that we are one of those cases again where we are a miracle and we're on Premier League years, 10 years from now, going, remember that, while we're in the Champions League and stuff. But oh man, that's so far away. Let me come back to reality. Um Neil Charlton saying you are the most ground of all the people who think they can comment about Leeds United. Oh, anyone can comment, Neil. Anyone can comment. Thank goodness you keep reminding us what is what. There is so much crap spoken at the moment. I mean, listen, Neil, I haven't taken in a lot of the articles and stuff this week. I've been nicely away speaking French, but yeah, the opinion pieces this week have been plentiful, haven't they? There's been a lot of speculation. There was even a false report about what Victor Orta said, and then the guy said, actually, it wasn't Victor Orta that said it. I mean, that's why you always have to check the sources. You always have to check. And for me, I only trust like a few people when it comes to verified reports. That account isn't one of them. It's okay sometimes, but you need it to be confirmed. And when you're getting false quotes like that, it just, especially to a fan base that is in turmoil as it is right now, doesn't do anybody any good. So yeah, the opinion pieces have been plentiful this week, but I haven't taken in any of them. Um, Hassani, yeah, if Dortmund can bottle it like they did today, anything can happen. Hassani, you know what the thing is for me? I don't really watch the Bundesliga. That's not really mine. I prefer Serie A and League One. But isn't it funny how this Premier League is the best league in the world and everything like that? And yet the Bundesliga, I know Bayern got it in the end, but that was a real title race. And over here, where we don't call it a farmers league, we've got Man City that have won 5 out of 6. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy, because a lot of people talk about the quality of the Prem, but if you look at it in totality for this season alone, with the way that there was like 9 clubs involved in a relegation battle at one point, that's a poor league. It's not a good league. That's a poor league. It's not anyone can beat anyone. It's just a very, very poor league. So it's just funny how things go. I would prefer to be here. Let me make that clear, because the championship is a dire league. But it's just funny how the narratives can go sometimes, isn't it? Because Man City are they're gonna keep on rolling with this thing. They're not gonna stop. They're a steam train. As long as Pep's there, whew, they're gonna keep winning. They're gonna keep winning. Um, let's have a look. Yeah, he was. He was. He didn't want the camera in his face, man. Pulled the Stevie G move, didn't he? Parody patient here got tickets to the game. At least seeing Harry Kane in the flesh will slightly ease the pain. Lord have mercy. What about Rodrigo? Listen, oh yeah, let me talk about Rodrigo. They're gonna try and do everything that they can to get him fit. That's the main thing. If we don't have him, then it's quite clear that we're gonna have trouble scoring goals. So they need to do everything they can to get him fit. Bamford, they whatever, man. But yeah, Rodrigo gives us a fighting chance. If I don't see him on the team sheet tomorrow, yeah, that will sour the mood for me a little bit, and it will be interesting to see how the rest of the ground takes it as well. Um, Daniil saying, "Let's enjoy this game." I'm going to be nervous in this game. I know it feels like a foregone conclusion to a lot of people. I'm still going to get nerves. I'm still going to get nerves before the game. John saying, "Thank you for everything this season. Much appreciated." No, thank you for tuning in, John, and to everybody else. Uh, Harrison Kemp, why can't we get 3 goals? I don't know, Harrison, but in order to score three, that would be nice. But then we also have to keep them out as well, which is a bigger issue, isn't it? A much bigger issue. So, so yeah, it we can score three, but we've also got to keep out the goals as well. And we've seen over the past few years that's a bit of an issue for us. Liam with the super chat. Thank you again, Liam. Down tools towards the end of Marcelo Bielsa never recovered, gotten so lazy and lackadaisical. I think he's talking about some of the players under the Bielsa era. And Radaby Lee saying, don't know about UKG, but I'm disconnecting from the TV internet at 4:30 tomorrow and we'll check scores at full time. We'll expect to be down, but who knows? Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm gonna be with one eye on the game, one eye on my phone. I'm not gonna lie to you, Radaby Lee. So I won't even try. I will check the results from the minute the game kicks off until the end. That's the way it will be for me. Michelle Lee, shout out to Michelle, big support over in Canada. Thanks for a great season, KG. Crap ball football, but great content. You are our therapy. Yeah, therapy is too long. I was thinking today, coming back onto this because this for me, this is where my holiday ends, and it's just like back to work. But I wish we was talking about something more positive, man. I wish we was talking about looking forward to the future for pushing for Europe or how do we break the top 10 next season? And look what we're talking about. It's just so poor. In fact, overall, this season for me, sports, it's been a flush, all of it. My ice hockey teams, Penguins, their playoff streak's broken. LeBron gets swept in a series. Just throw this season away for sports for me, people. I'm not having a good run this season. Um, let's have a look. Enzio saying, I don't ever really watch German football, but watch the Dortmund game and they were lucky not to be beaten. Yeah, that's true. To me, they look poor on the day, so that doesn't say much about the Bundesliga either. It doesn't say much, but what it does say, but in what I'm trying to say in that is that at least there was a bit of a race towards the end of the season, whereas Man City, people thought Arsenal were going to win it. How many points in games later? Man City are what, 5 points clear? Is it? They've got they've got a cushion before the end of the season, and they've won it. And it's not going to be the last time either, Enzio. So I'm not talking about just the title race. I'm talking about the general league, and that there was almost 9 teams involved in a relegation fight up until what, a month and a half ago. It's not great, is it? It's not great. Um, Michael Gott, do Luton now pay big for Drame? No, I don't think they will, Michael. I think if he's to go there, it's going to be a cheap fee because he's only got a year left on his deal. And as you've seen with our previous sales, we don't sell players that well. The last one that I can think that we sold well was Jack Clark because we definitely got more than what he was worth at the time. He was never worth 10 million at the time, but that's what Leeds United in the Championship can give you. It gives you hype because we was always on Sky Sports. So anytime a player had a good game, it's like, oh, who's that guy? And we got 10 million plus from Spurs for him. But otherwise, you look at some of our sales, we don't do well in sales. And some of our last long-standing players have gone for free. So I don't imagine we're going to get a big fee for him, especially with a year left. And besides, we are not the ones holding the cards on this one. Luton are the Premier League team now. Drame has got a year left on his deal. We're at the mercy of those two. I know it's crap, but that's where we are. Sam, will you do a player keep sell video in the seat? Yeah, 100%, Sam. That will definitely be that. That's been on the list for months, Sam. For months, I've been thinking about that video for months. 100%, I'll be doing that. Let's have a look. Philip is saying, "Hi, KG. Our last Prem match tomorrow. Feeling so nervous. Yeah. Could be our last one. Could be our last one. But look, we'll see, won't we? We'll see." David saying, boring Bundesliga, danger that EPL will go the same way with City dominating for the foreseeable future. Yeah, I mean, it's all well and good in terms of talking about the teams below, improving Brighton and all these guys. But then you've seen what's happening with Brighton. Their better players are starting to get linked with moves again. So it's not like teams can keep their players for so long. They end up moving on. I think McAllister is almost close to moving to Liverpool. So there you've got Brighton then having to go and look for another gem to replace him, like Southampton had to do all those times when Liverpool kept snatching all their players. because they were looking half decent. And look what's happened to Southampton eventually. Every league is like that. You'll always get that, even in Serie A, where teams go. Juventus will buy a player on a 2-year loan before they pay a fee. It happens in all teams, but it's just the way that the Premier League always act like it's big and mightier than everyone else in terms of quality when you've got the same champions over the last 5 to 6 seasons. A bit of a crazy one for me, but yeah. Mark is saying if we go down, I want to see Archie Gray. Listen, we'll talk about that at the end of the season, but he's definitely one that I would promote to the first team because much like Alex Scott at Bristol City, there's other players like that. JB, man, he had you see JB's goal? Anyone see JB's goal this week? We've got a couple of those youngsters already, and I am disappointed we didn't get to see more of JB this season. But if we are to go down, then we use players like that. That's what we need, mixed with a bit of experience too. Just for those cold Tuesday nights away. Oh man. Oh boy. Thomas is saying 136 goals given up between the two. It should be exciting. New fan from Cincinnati, and that's a good point. And shout out to you, Thomas. But Spurs have conceded 60 goals, so it's not like it's going to be impossible to score against Tottenham tomorrow. But we just got to try and keep them out as well. See, there's no point talking about one or the other. Bums is saying, "Get me Alex Scott with JB in there." Listen, Bums, Alex Scott was on one of my list for this summer, but then I actually took him off because I thought we've already got one of him in Archie Gray. We don't need another one. And when I saw the price that's been quoted for Alex Scott, I thought, yeah, we ain't doing that because now he's been linked with like 25 to 30 million pound moves. We're not doing that. And for me, if we've already got Archie Gray in there, who looks like he's got a real high ceiling, why go and buy Alex Scott to stunt his development? I would say just keep him. But Alex Scott is a good player, man, real good player, and you can see him get into a Premier League move regardless of what happens. Exactly, Philip. Yeah, that goal from Darko is beautiful, and it wasn't just the goal as well, Philip. Obviously, you must have watched the game highlights. He was not only was he getting back, he was intercepting stuff forward, getting passes forward. And I know it's a different level. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's Premier League ready, but it would have been nice to see more of him. Could we have a situation where he could have been our live year of the season? Yes, Southampton have gone down, but he stuck out because he was a cut above the rest of the midfield from general play. But we won't know now, will we? We won't know. Andrew saying, "Hi, KJ. We have to keep a few experienced players with the youngster." No, Andrew, we could get some new ones instead because I don't want to. No, I'm not trying to be horrible, but these experienced players might be good enough for the championship, but I know what's going to happen. They'll help get us up, and people say they got one more in them. They got one more in them, and they don't have one more in them. That's where I'm hung up on. But I agree, Andrew. We do need some experienced players in there. You have to have that in any league. You have to have that in any sport. But can we get some new ones? Let's get some new experienced players. Let's get some new faces because a lot of this needs to be called out and cut from top to bottom. Um, Let's have a look. Liam with a super chat. Thank you, Liam. Is it too late to get Liam? Lord have mercy. Is it too late to get another manager in for tomorrow? I think it might be, Liam. I think it might just be a little too late. But shout out to you for the super chat. Fergal here to saying to have a chance. To have a chance, we have to win by 3 clear goals and the other 2 draw. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's just so many gymnastics to play that it just seems like a hard task, doesn't it? It's too hard. Let me just see if there's any other notes I wanted to get from Sam before I get into score predictions. Talks about Rodrigo, gamble on players' fitness. No, there wasn't much else. It's just more of like a hope and pray situation. So yeah, let's have a look. Apple juice, Lewis. Apple juice. Right. David is saying, agreed, KGR. Experienced players are past their shelf life. Thanks for the memories, but time to move on. I mean, Dave, I said this 2 years ago. I said this 2 years, but I always said, man, you keep your legacy by going out on top, but it's always hard to know when you're out on top, and it's always hard, especially when you've got people telling you the best right back the club's ever seen when it's not true. It's hard, isn't it? But all that for that all that hard work that they put in to get themselves in the shape that they're in, to play the football they were playing, just to go out with a whimper like this, it's pretty poor for me, and it doesn't cement their legacies in my eyes. I see other people calling some of these players legends, and that's fair. A legend is different in everyone's eyes, but to me it tarnishes it for me, because what's the point in doing all that to come up just to go back down again? And you're probably not going to be around to try and get help us get back up. Nomar is saying we are going to smash them. Rutter hat trick. Rutter, is he allowed on the pitch? I don't know if he's allowed on the pitch. That would be something, though, wouldn't it? Um, Gregory saying I was amazed when we got promoted. The squad wasn't invested in. It was a little bit invested in. Gregory, Bamford 7 million. I know we had to let go of some players in order to get them in. We got Nketiah on loan. But what we had though was a coach that works with players and makes players better, and that was what he did. He turned middling, bottom of the table championship players into Premier League players. That's what he did until the running stopped, and then that's when they turned back into pumpkins again. That's the reality of it. That is the reality of it, because a lot of them aren't Premier League players, and that was always my concern with them. But yeah, that's what you have when you have a coach that does that. And that's why Pep did say that at the time, that he doesn't know if he could get that out of them. I think Pep could have done something, but that was a special case. And you know what? It didn't work in the first year, and that's all well and good, but it happened in the second, didn't it? It happened in the second. But hey, that's a long time ago now. But that's the problem, though, Greg. Things have to move on from there, and we haven't moved on. There's some players here that played in the championship versus Sheffield United before they got promoted the first time. Hey, that tells you everything you need to know. Spen is saying we were linked with Ugarte in January. Now he's linked with PSG. Crazy how our management works. Yeah, and he's now been linked with Villa as well. So that's what I'm saying. We should be linked to those kind of players, but nah, no, no. Unfortunately, no. Um, Sam here saying we knew they should have been replaced after the night finish. It was blatantly obvious, but Sam, it wasn't. It wasn't obvious to a lot of people though, Sam. I'm not trying to call people silly or anything else like that. I can understand why you'd want to believe in the team finishing ninth, but for me, that season has so many asterisks on it. It has so many asterisks. And listen, you're talking to me, a LeBron fan who won a ring in that season where there was no crowds. So I'm not talking from a biased point of view. Even I look at that ring by LeBron and go, I don't really talk about it that much. I go, "Yeah, yeah, that one. Oh yeah." There's so many asterisks for that season where there was no crowd. So many. It doesn't take away the enjoyment of like that Man City away win. It doesn't take away any of that. And I wouldn't say that should be the case for people. But you can see with hindsight, like a few years later, going, I can see why the team did so well in the year where there was no crowds around. You can see it, can't you? But yeah, but Sam, it wasn't obvious to a lot of people. And shout out to Joe. Joe's always asking me to go on his channel, but when I've gone on to Joe's channel and put a comment for him, just to big him up, because he sometimes mentions me on his channel. I see names in there that used to talk to me on here. And I thought maybe they all died on a bus crash or something. But no, they're still alive and kicking. It's just that they didn't like what I was saying. And that's why I would say to him, I like to be where I'm appreciated, not where I'm tolerated. And that's why I speak on my own channel. You know what I mean? But shout out to Joe, though, man. He's a good guy. Yeah, I mean, Liam, not all bad news. LeBron broke the NBA points record. He did. But when you get swept, though, I don't like that. But he went out. It's AD though, man. It's AD. He's soft with a T, soft. You know what I mean? But yeah, listen. You know what? We've gone off the tangent, but you see, this is what I'm talking about. We can do all this kind of chat, any other chat that you like, when we do more watch alongs next season. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. Um, but yeah, shall we do score predictions and get out of here? So yeah, what's your score predictions then for Leeds versus Tottenham tomorrow? Let's go. Is it our last Premier League game, or do we have one more in us? Let's see. Tom, debates that shall be had. We'll go on that one day. Mark saying, look at it. Oh, Mark, thank you for the super chat, Mark. Look at it this way. If we go down and come back up, at least our fans will be part of it this time. Fair. Okay. Nate saying 2-2. Sai saying 3-1. Slow Steady Steve saying we win 3-1. Jay's going for a 3-3 thriller. Bubs is going 3-2 to Leeds. Robert 1-1. Oh, AFV 3-1 to Tottenham. Deflate the stadium, man. Gary getting the 3 goals, but it's going to be a 4-1 win. I like it. Michelle's going optimistic as heck here. I'm going for a win. Sadik 3-0 clean sheet. Here we go. A clean sheet. Here we go. Lord have mercy. Shout out to you, Michelle. Andy saying based on the heart 4-2, based on previous 3-0. Michael saying Spurs 2-0 to put us out of our misery. Oh God. Yeah, Gary, we can't even beat West Ham. We can't beat anybody, man. It's poor. You know what, man? You know what? I'm going to go like the 4-1 prediction. I'm going to go 5-2. Let's go with that one. We're going to go 5-2, win by 3 goals, and stay up because Bournemouth will beat Everton. And I don't even know who Leicester are playing, but they'll lose too. And we'll stay up. Now, I don't know. I got to be honest. I've got no score prediction for this one. I really don't. I'm going to cheat on this one, and I'm not going to give a prediction. So sue me. I can't give a prediction. I can't see a score. We don't win games, man. So poor. I don't know. That's pretty good. Everton will score in the 119th minute to stay up. Tremendous. But if we get added time, we get scored on. So there's the yin yang thing. Pops. All right. I will give you a score prediction. All right, come back, Bobs. Come back. Yeah. 2-2. Let's go with a Desmond. Yeah, 2-2. And obviously, with everything in my being, I hope I'm wrong and that we can win the game and somehow stay up. But we're asking for miracles. So whoever's religious out there, that's not me. But if you want to say a prayer, if you want to speak it into existence, that's more my style. We'll try and do that too. But how about the team on the pitch actually do the business and score some goals for once and win a game? Can they do that? Can they do it? We will see. Yeah, Michael, we don't even win games when we go ahead. It's so weird, isn't it? We're a football team that when we go ahead, is anybody actually confident we're going to win the game? Because I'm not. I look at the game and even when we went 1-0 up against, who did we last play? Who did I vent about? I can't even remember. See, this is what happens when you take time off, man. See, I'm very good at putting things to the back of my head, and this is what's happened. But when we go 1-0 up, regardless, I just never think we're going to see it through. And I'm absolutely with you, Michael. Yeah, Andy, that's it, and that's because the reason why that is true. Yeah, 25 points drop from winning positions. It's awful, absolutely awful. West Ham, was it West Ham? Okay, yeah, thank you, guys. I would never have got it. All right, then, guys. You know what? I'll like I say, I will see you at some point tomorrow for the match reaction, and we'll talk about the game and the ramifications of it, whether we stay up or if we finally seal our fate and go down. Are we actually going to finish second from bottom in the Premier League? Is that what our season's come to? Maybe so. But you know what? Whatever happens, we will have deserved it because that's what you get after 38 games, and it's as simple as that, people. So you know what? Like the video before you go, drop your score predictions and comments below, and I will see you all tomorrow at some point. Peace out.